The Fantasy Underdogs podcast is brought to you by the Believe Podcast Network and BetOnline.ag. We're back and better than ever. A new web interface for the start of the basketball season and more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline remains your number one spot for all the basketball and football action this season. Head to the new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your bonus. From basketball, football, baseball, postseason, NHL, boxing, and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games, don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. And now, another episode of the Fantasy Underdogs podcast. Yeah!
And welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Fantasy Underdogs podcast, brought to you by the Believe Podcast Network and BetOnline.ag. I'm one of your hosts, Evan, with Sam and Sporty Jordy, always with me by my side for another episode. I'm very loopy today because I took a bunch of cold medicine, so I sound a little weird. Ladies, week 9 was very weird yesterday.
Yeah. I think that's underestimating it, really.
Yeah, that is a very understatement for yesterday's bizarro world of games. And if you put lots of money on the Bills, I feel sorry for you. If you put
are we ready for this? My mom had 3 picks in her suicide pool and lost them all in one day. She took the Bills, the Cowboys, and the Saints, and they all went down.
Oof.
Yep. And she made it this far. She had 4 picks for the season. Lost one. I can't remember what game. I think it was a Bengals game that screwed her over. And then she had 3 left and lost them all on one Sunday.
I need to send some flowers to your mother. I feel so bad for her.
Because she literally said, she was like, anything I would have picked. Like, she was like, there was no way out of it. Like, it was just the weirdest day. You couldn't predict it. But yeah, she handled it very well.
I did mention yesterday I was going to do a 3-team parlay. I'm glad I didn't do that 3-team parlay because I would have lost some money. So yeah, let's get into some of the weirdness yesterday. I want to start with the game from last night, the Rams and the Titans. Titans without Derrick Henry, until probably playoffs, but it didn't seem like it mattered because, Matthew Stafford helped out the Titans a lot yesterday with his mistakes, and Titans defense showed up a lot. So, ladies, let me get your thoughts on yesterday's Titans-Rams game yesterday.
This was really ironic, actually, because I remember right as the game was starting, I was like, this is an easy win for the Rams, but with how today went, like, who knows? Maybe the Titans will, blow them out. Kidding. I was so kidding. And then I'm sitting there at halftime, and I'm like, what alternate universe did we wake up in today? And I wasn't worried for the Titans, complete well-being without Derrick Henry. Like we talked about it on the show. I thought it was going to take them a week or 2 to figure it out. And I was like, it sucks that they're going up against the Rams. Like, that's just so tough the week after losing him. But then they came out and were just unstoppable. So I don't even know how to process everything that happened.
I'm with you on that same boat because, Michael Buffer, right, hypes up the crowd in LA, and then you're going, you know what, this is going to be an easy deal. And then it was like pick and then another pick. I'm like, what is going on with Matthew Stafford? Is this Matthew Stafford did he decide he was back in Detroit all of a sudden? And now
I
he's
was
doing
saying
this
that
in
was
LA?
like, is this Jared Goff?
Oh,
Did
there you
Jared
go.
Goff return back to LA? This game was, I honestly, by like halftime, I was like, I'm bored. And I was expecting this to be more of the more exciting Sunday night matchups. And I was just like, oh my God, this is just not even a little bit exciting. And the Titans really were just like, Derrick Henry, it's okay. We got AP. He's going to score a touchdown, even though he's a 36-year-old running back. It's fine. We're good. And the Titans defense was absolutely phenomenal last night. Star of the show.
Yeah.
They came out just swinging like a heavyweight in a title fight. They look good. And speaking of Adrian Peterson, he looked pretty good.
He did.
Not bad.
Not bad for a first game, only being on the team for about a week. He looked incredible shape-wise. He looks like he's just been training in the offseason, not sitting on his couch. Going forward with their schedule, do you think he could maybe somewhat be that cog in the wheel that they're going to, just to replace a Derrick Henry, or is AP just kind of like, well, he had an okay, great game the first game, and he's just going to kind of peter out the rest of the weeks? Or do you think AP is the guy to fill in for Derrick Henry? Obviously not to that level, but do you think he's going to be able to fill in that good for Derrick Henry?
If they can just keep doing what they did last night, I don't see why not. Like you said, you can't replace Derrick Henry. There's no one that can come in and put up that kind of numbers. But if Ryan Tannehill can use the receivers that he has plenty of, and if you can have a stable run game with Adrian Peterson, then I don't see why they can't continue this winning streak even without Derrick Henry. And then if they do that and get to the playoffs and Derrick Henry comes back, then it's just super scary.
Yeah.
Very super scary.
Yeah,
That's
super duper scary.
Very super scary.
To alternate between the two of them, like kind of the way like the Cowboys do with like Zeke and Pollard, like that. And even like it's not taking away reps from Derrick Henry, but every once in a while, you got to give him a break at some point, and putting a veteran running back like AP, and he's doing what he's doing. And I don't know, it could be very dangerous. Could be very dangerous, especially if Derrick Henry's healthy enough to come back for the postseason, which apparently the Titans will be a part of, it seems like at this point.
And apparently the surgery went well for Derrick Henry this past week. And from what the doctors were saying, it went too well to where he's like, he could be back sooner than later. So
if anyone's superhuman enough to do that, it's Derrick Henry. So like that wouldn't even shock me.
Listen,
I'm sure Derrick Henry's like, listen, just tape my toes together, inject me with some cortisone.
Yeah, and let me run people over. Yeah,
I'll be fine.
If Carson Wentz can come back from his surgery in 3 weeks, when they gave him a 5 to 12 week, span of time, I could be Derrick Henry like 2 weeks. He's like, hey, I'm here, I'm good. Put me in, coach.
They said
6
to 6 to 10. 6 to 10 weeks. I say he'll be back in
a month.
I think less than that.
3 weeks?
I say 3 weeks.
Holy guacamole.
Yeah. I say 3 weeks. I just because he's a superhuman. He's not of this world, and he probably is a mutant, has a healing factor like Wolverine, and he'll be back. I say 3 weeks. I bet you in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, you'll get a tweet from Rappaport and maybe Schefter saying, Titans are saying Derrick Henry's probably going to be back in the next couple of weeks.
And everybody's going to lose their mind.
Yeah.
Everybody, yes, Twitter will just melt, and then fantasy owners will melt.
The happiest person ever fantasy-wise, because I'm like getting by, but barely. I need him back.
Let's talk about fantasy yesterday. So I remember that trade I said I did with Jefferson.
You made Jefferson out so well. I was thinking about you the whole time. I was like, what is going on?
It was so weird because my buddy texted me, the one I traded Jefferson to. He's like, "Oh, thanks, man," because Justin Jefferson had a pretty good day yesterday. He's like, "Oh," he tweeted or he messaged me like a little wink emoji. I'm like, "You're welcome." And then in the back of my mind, I'm like, "Well, shit. If Justin Jefferson, the guy I traded away, has a good game, I better have at least a touchdown from James Conner." Scores one. Yes. Okay, so it paid off. Scores another one. Okay, I'm liking this even more. And then scores a third one. I'm like, yes! And I was playing the number one guy in the league, too, not only did I beat him by over 100 points, but I have the most points for this week out of all the league.
Holy crap.
How many points did you score total?
174.
Wow. I'm the dunce who has Connor on her bench this week, by the way.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Well, you're gonna benefit though, because Chase Edmonds is gonna be out 3 to 4 weeks. He has a high ankle sprain, so he's gonna be out 3 to 4 weeks. So you're gonna benefit from that.
Yeah.
Because Cardinal schedule is pretty decent for Connor going forward. So
Nick Chubb did show up though. Nick Chubb put like 30 points up
Yes.
for me, and I was very appreciative of that because last week he did absolutely nothing, and I was like, God dang it! Like, come on, buddy.
Speaking of that game, I'm glad that's a good segue, Sam. The Browns took it to the Bengals yesterday, 41-16. Bengals are crashing down to earth. Looks like, and then the Brownies, well, they said, OBJ, we really don't need you because we're going to do this to divisional opponents. Baker Mayfield looked pretty good yesterday as well. Defense showed out. Is this a time to panic for the Bengals, or the Browns kind of like, what, we're going to make a run for this? And who are you more concerned about, Bengals, or is this a blip on the radar for them?
I would say that the a division game is always a lot tougher to go up against anyway. And they, first of all, just came off of a horrible Jets loss. They go up against the Browns, who were ready to show up and win this game. Because if they came back from that Steelers game and then lost to the Bengals the next week, like, they would have been out for this division. Like, it wouldn't have been good. So they came back with a vengeance. They knew OBJ wasn't going to be there. They knew how their offense was going to work. So that's what I think happened. The Bengals, yes, we've seen them do very well. We've seen them do not so well, but I don't think it's something to panic about because we've seen Jamar Chase can do what he can do in his rookie year of all things. So yes, maybe they should be working on their offensive line, which Jordan and I have been talking about for quite some time, but I wouldn't freak out.
YouTube hates me, but it's fine.
It's fine.
It's
but
fine.
You can't be mad at the truth. I mean, obviously, we've said this before. Look, we were all kind of like, why would you take a wide receiver first round? You have this high pick. You can get one of those guys that you need. It's been working out so far. But obviously, they are in still of a need of an offensive line. And if you're going to go try and make a playoff run at this, at least try and get the wild card or this division is already packed with those guys.
Oh.
You got to have somebody that's going to protect Joe Burrow, and he just seems to be running for his life yet again. So very interesting. Go ahead.
It is interesting, and I think they got very lucky with Jamar Chase being as good as he is, because if he wasn't up to this caliber, then their draft would have been a waste and it would have been terrible. So he is their saving grace. It's just, it doesn't seem like it's enough to completely make them that complete playoff team. They're not consistent. Joe Burrow's still out there floundering all the time. Like, they need that one missing piece. And I think until they get that, I don't know if I'm 100% convinced that they can make. I think they could sneak into the playoffs this season still. I'm not saying it's totally out of the question for them. But I don't think they can make a Super Bowl run with their team right now, especially in the AFC. So it's unfortunate. I think they're completely moving in the right direction, but yeah, without that piece, they're not going to be able to win the big game.
Okay. I like that. Yesterday was I love it when the Cowboys get beat. No, I'm not going to your Eagles. No, I'm going to the Cowboys. This game was.
But that was so terrible because that was like one of the only times my mom had the Cowboys in her suicide pool. Yeah. So it was one of the only times that we ever needed the Cowboys to actually do well. And then they just didn't. And I was like, this is why I hate everything about you.
The Broncos, who trade away the face of their franchise, Super Bowl MVP Von Miller, got calls about Teddy Bridgewater from the Saints saying, hey, we kind of want him back. Said, you know what? We're good. We're going to see how we do. Go into Jerry World and make the Cowboys just look utterly a disaster. And I love every single minute of it. Not only because of that, because I had a couple people that I knew, friends of mine that are huge Dallas Cowboy fans, travel to Dallas and go to that game. And I'm glad that the Dallas Cowboys lost in that fashion because Dak is back. Oh, everything's back to normal. No, not everything's back to normal because the Broncos made you look stupid yesterday.
It was refreshing. It was refreshing to see, but Dak really did not look good. Like, he didn't look good at all.
And remember, we were kind of saying, you know what, he's not going to have to shake off the rust. But obviously, he had to shake off a little rust.
We were so wrong.
Yes.
We were wrong about like almost everything. Yes.
To be fair, it was a weird day. It was a weird day, though.
Such a weird day. No one. That was insane. The one thing we were right about, the Cardinals.
Yes.
Indeed, we were.
Yes.
That's one thing we can cherish. Always. I love the Cardinals.
I wanted to ask you, too, a question. So, after that defeat yesterday, is it time to really look at the 49ers and go, okay, maybe this team isn't as good as we thought they were? Because they just seem to be – yesterday they looked like they had no clue what was going on whatsoever. And we all praise Kyle Shanahan and his offensive guruisms, especially for offense, but they just could not get anything going yesterday. Is it now a time for concern for them going forward? Because obviously they're not going to really have they're not going to be really competing for any kind of playoff spot. I think they're done. They're done for the year.
Agreed.
So with them, is it time to say goodbye to Jimmy G?
It seems like it, just because with the way they're going back and forth between him.
He had a decent day, 28 for 40, 326 for 2 touchdowns, but still, that's
Something's not clicking.
It seems like they're confused because they don't know if they're riding with Jimmy G or Trey Lance. And it doesn't seem like they have a set game plan for either one. It's like they're constantly trying to make things work that will suit the both of them. So I don't think they can find their identity until... And I'm not saying this is the case for all teams. I think if you want to have that quarterback competition, it can work in certain scenarios. And I honestly thought it was going to work for them, but whatever they're doing now isn't clicking. Everyone looks confused. So I think until they figure out who's going to be their guy moving forward, this offense is just going to keep crumbling.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool with me. Cardinals, man.
The fact that the Cardinals,
freaking moon,
they did that without not just Kyler, but DeAndre wasn't there either. And then Edmonds went out. They're just a great team. JJ Watt's not even playing on that defense right now. Like, it's just, I just want to say that Jordan and I have been seriously hyping up the Cardinals for a year now.
Literally,
and I want people to know that.
Trust me. Well, I was a big fan of theirs last year. I thought they were going to be a dark horse, and again, I said they're going to be a dark horse this year too. And they've exceeded expectations of what they're going to. What they're doing right now. Obviously, they're at top of that division with they're firing on all cylinders, man.
I think I have to get a Zach Ertz Cardinals jersey. I think that's only fitting. Yeah,
you should. Yeah. I am on board with that.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Hang it right next to Herbie back here.
Herbie.
All right, ladies. The Packers traveled into Arrowhead yesterday, and despite losing 13-7, Packers defense really showed up.
Yes.
And made the Chiefs offense a little stagnant yesterday. But still, Patrick Mahomes does not look like Patrick Mahomes. But I was really impressed with the Packers defense yesterday. Jordan Love, obviously making his first start, garbage time is garbage time for a lot of people, but obviously they miss Aaron. If Aaron Rodgers was there, we'd be talking about the Packers beating the Chiefs yesterday.
Absolutely.
Vice versa. I would say going forward, the Packers are one, probably the team to beat in the NFC. I would say a little bit more than the Cardinals, honestly. Their defense looks a little bit better than the Cardinals defense, but yesterday, Patty Mahomes and company did squeak out the 13-7 win. Are you impressed more by the Packers defense? Or are you more concerned about Patrick Mahomes' play yesterday?
I think I'm more concerned with Patrick Mahomes right now, just because the fact that if this was last year, this game would have been 42-7. Just because the Chiefs offense, even up against a solid defense, they would have run over them. And yeah, they still got the win when they needed to. They took advantage of Aaron Rodgers not being there, but you only put up 13. So I think, especially with the losses that they had leading up to this, it raises a lot of question marks.
I agree.
For sure.
And I mean, the Packers defense was great. I'm not taking anything away from them. Like, I was so impressed, but you have to be concerned for the Chiefs at this point.
Yeah, and the Chiefs are just, I don't know what in the world is going on, or who sold their soul to the devil for that Super Bowl, and that they're just on the decline now. But my God, it's just like kind of hard to watch them now. And you can make the same argument for the Giants defense looking that good against the Chiefs, and you're like, was it the Chiefs or was it the defense? But it seems like the defenses are really taking advantage of this vulnerable Chiefs offense, which very strange.
It sounds so weird to hear vulnerable Chiefs offense. Like, I didn't think that was gonna happen. It was the quickest decline.
Yeah.
So
I was concerned about my fantasy team yesterday because Mahomes is my fantasy quarterback. And I was winning by a slim margin. I was like, dude, just give me one more passing touchdown. That way I can feel a little bit better going into tonight's matchup. And he did nothing. I'm like, dude.
Yeah. My friend traded Patrick Mahomes in a fantasy league. He was like, I don't want him anymore. He got Justin Herbert.
See, I'm trying to do that, but nobody will take Patrick Mahomes.
Which is like, considering, like, I got Derrick Henry at 6th overall in one of my fantasy leagues because Patrick Mahomes went 4th overall. Think about guys that were like so excited for Mahomes and how Mahomes has been, and then have this kind of season. It's so like, what? Not on my 2021 bingo card. Like, wasn't on there.
I'm not picking Mahomes 4th overall either. Like,
no, I think it's stupid, but dumb. Like, no, it's so dumb. I say that I did it like 2 years ago, but it was like my first time playing fantasy, so I was like, Mahomes, yay. And it worked out. Like, that was worth it because he was as good as he was then. And like, I guess for the guy, like, you couldn't have predicted him being this bad, but still, it's so risky. Just wait on a quarterback.
Very true. And the day continues with the more weirdness by the Jacksonville Jaguars stunning everyone by beating the Bills yesterday by a total score of 9-6. Josh Allen looked out of place.
The other Josh Allen, incredible.
Yes, the other Josh Allen who sacked Josh Allen and had a fumble recovery.
Intercepted Josh Allen
and recovered a fumble.
Yeah.
Great game. I mean, obviously this is a blip on the radar for the Bills, but if you bet on the Bills yesterday, I feel sorry for you. And if you bet on the Jags, I'm sure you're just throwing dollar bills, y'all.
Did anybody do that though?
You never know.
I mean, there's definitely somebody in the world who did, but like, could you imagine being that person that was like, yeah, I'm betting on the Jags over the Bills? Like, everybody would have been like, what? Are you crazy?
Insane? I thought I was freaking nuts when I took the Jets over the Titans. Sam, you should have seen their face on the show. Everyone's like, this is a clean sweep. And I was like, no, I'm just going to take the Jets today. But like, I thought that was crazy. But like, taking the Jags against the Bills, that's a whole nother level that I never would have even let myself consider. And then the fact that it happened, it's really any given Sunday. Like, really, that proved it.
And to lose like that.
It was such a terrible game. It was so terrible.
The Bill, I mean, Josh Allen said it. He was like, they played like trash.
Yeah.
Like, it was not a good game whatsoever. And the Bills were just, I don't know, maybe they went in too confident the same way. Like, that game reminded me of like week 1, but worse. Like, I have a feeling after this, the Bills are going to go on a tear. Like, they're just gonna be like, nope. I mean, they have the Jets next, which I'm like very excited for because apparently Mike White's coming back, and I'm stoked.
I hope he comes back.
I love really Mike White.
I hope to see it. I'm in a fan club for Mike White now.
It makes fantasy value for Michael Carter go up too, because when Mike White was in there, Michael Carter was fantasy relevant. When he's not, Michael Carter is he's a flounder. And that's a good segment to go into, which is floundered or flourished. I mean, we're gonna have like intro music and stuff coming up for this film. And now it's floundered or flourished. I need to change that, whatever. So ladies, give me some fantasy players yesterday that really flourished yesterday for week 9 in fantasy.
Well, we already kind of hinted at this, but you can relish in this a little bit more. James Conner was like, he's been decent all year, stable, somewhat consistent, like nothing bad to say about him, but him stepping up and flourishing in a moment where you absolutely had to, without your starting quarterback, without one of your star receivers, to be that pivotal. That was not a word, but you know,
that's not a word. But hey, we know where we're going with
it. Thank you. To be, I'm not even going to try and say it a second time because I don't think it's going to work again anyway. So to be that like much of a contributor in your offense in a time where they desperately needed it, that is how you step up and help your team, and everything about it was beautiful.
Yeah,
I'll give you some running backs also that flourished yesterday. Melvin Gordon against the Dallas Cowboys. Him and Javonte Williams both had pretty good days. Javonte Williams with his first 100-yard rushing game, and Melvin Gordon with 80 yards and a touchdown. Your boy Jordan Howard had a decent game.
He's killing it
too. So
I want to pay him right now. I don't want anyone else to get him. I want him as an Eagle permanently.
So if you need a running back, maybe for the flex position, maybe look at Jordan Howard, who seemingly has been rejuvenated by going back to Philly after being gone for so long. Sam, give me some players that floundered yesterday in fantasy.
Well, one of them definitely, like, I'm just looking at my own roster here from my bench. I mean, we were talking about the Browns earlier. Joe Burrow put up 7.3 points as a quarterback, which is horrible. And I mean,
Josh Allen has 9.5 sticks in my starting lineup. So,
and even I had the Browns defense, which worked for me. And it just, he was just not working at all. And also I have Mark Andrews as one of my tight ends, and I always expect him to put a lot more points up, and like he only put 9.5 points up this week, and that's just very disappointing for me because there's like that one week him and Lamar both put up like 40 points each, and I was just like, this is the best day of my life because I have Lamar too. But these guys were just not good. CeeDee Lamb as well, I know, did not.
CeeDee Lamb, as more like it. CeeDee Lamb.
What he put, like, I think he put like 4 points up.
Yeah, he
4.3 points. Like, not good.
I'm a proud owner of CeeDee Lamb, and I was very disappointed yesterday. Yeah, I was like, wow, I'm really gonna lose because of CeeDee Lambasted or CeeDee Lame because he's lame. And Tyreek.
Yeah.
Ew.
I also don't know why I keep putting Robbie Anderson in my lineup, and then I just keep being hurt because he had 1.2 points.
Why do you have any Panthers wide receivers in
I don't know.
lineup?
I don't know. I mean, I really thought I drafted him in both earlier. I think he had like one good week. Like one. Maybe.
Like the only wide receiver I can see having from the Panthers would be DJ Moore, but that's
I don't know why I keep having faith. I'm like, this is gonna be the week that Robbie Anderson does really well, and it never comes. No. And it's gonna be the week where I officially like drop him, and then he's gonna put up 20.
I mean, if you saw the sideline kind of discuss that Robbie Anderson was yelling at Sam Darnold yesterday, if that told you anything about.
Yeah, no, that looked pretty toxic. I was like, no.
Sammy is day to day now too.
Is he?
Something happened, yeah.
Was it because he stinks or?
There was a funny.
I love him. I don't mean that, but like I'm just frustrated because I defended him so much, and it's not looking good.
Yeah.
There was a funny meme yesterday where it was of Robbie Anderson. It was like the look when you see your ex-girlfriend coming into the bar, and he's like that. It was so funny.
I know that look.
Yeah.
Jordan can see that look sometimes.
Some other ones. Some other fantasy flourishing yesterday for tight ends would be George Kittle with a great day with 17 points, had over 100 yards, a touchdown. Dan Arnold from the Jacksonville Jaguars with about 8 points, 60 yards, and 4 receptions. Tight end losers, Dallas Goedert from your Philadelphia Eagles, and also Tom Sweeney, who's filling in for Mr. Dawson Knox on the Bills with a 2-point game against the Jags yesterday for flourished and floundered. I want to go back to the QB part of the flourished. Matt Ryan had a very good day yesterday, and Josh Johnson from the Jets also had a good fantasy week.
Good for Josh Johnson.
Yeah, Josh, I want to give him kudos because he laid it all. I mean, interception that ended the game for them was not like it got tipped and it went right into their like it wasn't him. He did everything he could, and you could see like the distraught on his face after. And I felt so bad because he really brought it back for them. Like he did everything he could, and it was just an unfortunate end, but I have respect. I love the Jets backup quarterbacks. Apparently, they have they have great depth in New York.
Listen, once Joe Flacco gets activated, it's over.
Yeah,
it's over.
No, don't say that about Mike White. He's coming back and he's going to be
rocking
it.
True.
I want
Mike White is QB1.
Exactly.
Quarterback Mike White.
I'm declaring it.
USF Bowl graduate. He's QB1 in my eyes.
Goated.
Yeah. Before we get on,
show?
I don't know. We should just tweet out to him.
Yeah, Mike White, we are your number one fans.
Before we head on out, I want to congratulate Sam. Your Giants won yesterday against the Raiders. I kind of want to hug the Raiders.
I told you guys.
I kind of want to hug the Raiders, though. I feel bad for the Raiders, man.
No.
I don't.
They're not like that team you just want to give a big bear hug and go, it's going to be okay.
No.
It's gonna be
no.
Okay. No.
I don't feel bad.
Okay.
I think the Raiders lost this game. I think we won fair and square. Like you can make the argument like, oh, the Raiders were that bad, then the Giants got lucky. Like, no, I think first of all, I think the Giants defense did phenomenal yesterday. And yes, Daniel Jones did not have his best game ever, but
shocker.
We put enough points up on the board. Listen, I love Daniel Jones. I am slowly
Sam is a Daniel Jones apologist.
I will die on this hill. I do not care. But yeah,
it's a hill of one, Sam. It's a hill of one. So you'll be dying.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm okay with living up here by myself. I get some time to myself. It's fine. But yeah, no, I think the Giants really did fairly well. We're going into our bye week with a win, and I was very stoked. I even texted Jordan and I was just like, I can't believe this is happening. And she was like, I'm so happy for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, of course, every team in the league basically upset. And then I was like, oh my God, it's perfect setup for the Eagles. No.
It's a good segue because I was just about to bring that up that your Eagles losing yesterday. But you lost to the Chargers. I mean, you can't be fine. Yeah, you can't be that mad. I mean,
and I'll put it this way: no part of me actually expected to win that game, and for us to be in it. Our defense, I was actually impressed with Jalen Hurts for the first time in a couple weeks. I was impressed with Nick Sirianni's play calling for a couple weeks in a row now, so that's big. And then I just want to punch our defensive coordinator in the face and then get him out of the way, and I feel a little bit better. But
I called it too. I said Justin Herbert's going to have a multi-touchdown game too.
Yeah,
he came through for me.
He looked great.
Did you see someone threw flowers at Nick Sirianni?
I was just about to bring that up.
Me in it. Yeah, and I was like, they should throw it at Gannon and not Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni had a good game. He really did. It was our defensive coordinator that makes me question my entire existence at this point.
You guys are 0-4 in the division. Oof.
And we're 0-4 at home.
Oof.
What since Philly, that's the most mind-boggling thing to me because every year it's like we stink, but home field advantage. There's something special about being in the link. There's energy there, and to be 0-4 at home is absolutely redonkulous. But whatever, I digress.
It's okay. It's all good. All right, we're going to get on out of here for another episode of the Fantasy Underdogs podcast. Ladies, before we get on out, any last news, notes, spilling of the tea, anything like that?
Tea? No.
I got some tea. OBJ has said he would want to play for Seattle with Russell Wilson. It's one of his preferred destinations, and also San Francisco as well.
And did you hear what he said? That it would be bad if the wrong team picked him up. Like the audacity.
Yes. I know. And then did you hear the Lions? They were like, yeah, we're not going to bother. They were like, we won't worry about it.
Listen, all props to OBJ's talent. Like he is a good wide receiver, but damn, you would make a stink if a team picked you up and you didn't like that team. Like, who do you think you are?
I always thought he was overrated because he had that one catch, and that's it to me. Other than that, he's another diva wide receiver who's, you're on your way out of the league, man. You're going to be another Ocho Cinco and you're going to be another TO. Unless you
just go on Dancing with the Stars and live your life, okay?
Yeah. Hey, AP was supposed to go on Dancing with the Stars, and he said, "No, I'm going to sign with the Titans." So maybe he'll go on Dancing with the Stars. So
Odell, maybe he'll win something there.
If the Seahawks, if the Seahawks did claim him, would that work out?
I think that would be so dumb of the Seahawks to do so.
Yeah. Seahawks have enough offensive weapons. They need a defense and they need a no line.
The whole point is Odell wants touches. He wants catches. Like, he won't get that with DK Metcalf there too. Like, he needs to go to a place where they
Lockett, they're fine.
They have no wide receivers. That's wherever he needs to go. They have nobody.
Atlanta's 4-4. They're right in the mix. They need a wide receiver who can get touches. Atlanta.
I think the problem is he won't look at the bigger picture and he'll be like, "Oh, the Falcons, they're the Falcons."
That's the problem with it.
Exactly. Go to Falcons and be the difference maker and remake a name for yourself. Like, that's how you're gonna get to the next level, dude.
I wish Chip was on tonight's episode because he'd be like throwing things at his screen if I'm mentioning OBJ gonna go to the Falcons, because I'm sure he would hate that. I mean, they're 4-4.
I'm still fighting for New England. I think New England is the best place for him right now.
Why not?
Did you guys see either or Falcons or he had the really high up
bad
sweatpants. Yeah, he looked like a grandpa.
The epitome of fashion.
Yeah. I thought he was, if he would have made it more like styled, if he had like the hoodie and then you see like the hoodie tucked into the pants walking in with a gold chain. That would have been great.
With a gold chain. Imagine Belichick with a gold chain and a cross. A big dazzle cross.
Says next question.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in for another episode of the Fantasy Underdogs podcast. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the FU Dogs Pod at both locations. Smash the follow and subscribe buttons on YouTube and also Twitch, because we are banned on Facebook. So
we don't know why or how.
We don't know why. So F Facebook, or wait, Meta or whatever it is now. So
Meta,
yeah. So for myself, Sam, and Jordan, we will see you guys on the next episode of the Fantasy Underdogs podcast, brought to you by Believe and BetOnline.ag. Have a great Monday. Peace.
Bye.